Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. Life for Mike Youngquist altered permanently in the early morning calm of Sequim, Washington, where mist embraces the treetops and the dew glistens like a whisper on the grass. Once a guy carved in popular consciousness for his turbulent relationship with Natalie Mordavtseva on 90 Day Fiancé, had withdrawn from the public view. Far from the brilliant lights of television screens and the scrutiny of social media, he went back to his family farm to find the rhythm of the land. But Mike's body was sounding an alert beneath his calm withdrawal. Deep in his chest, an invisible war, a struggle for his heart, was under development. It started with whispers rather than with a dramatic collapse. Little adjustments. Days when the tiredness persisted much too long. There were times when ascending the stairs he found himself gasping. An odd tightening in his chest that persisted really poorly. Mike was not new to work, to aching bones and the kind of tiredness accompanied with responsibilities. But this was not the case. This was not pain from the office. There was something deeper here. One night, then, the quiet cracked. Mike woke up with a weight on his chest, sweat soaking his shirt, and an unshakable coldness. It was not only a dream gone awry. It was his heart, battling itself. He was in an ambulance in hours, sirens cutting through the quiet of his little village. Mike lay quiet, his eyes wide open, his breath shallow as the world outside blazed into a flood of lights. Though he remained silent, his mind screamed with questions. Was this it? This was how it came out. Time lost sense at the hospital. A battery of tests, wires fastened to his chest, beeping devices, frigid fluorescent lights, the new landscape of Mike's life. The diagnosis, dilated cardiomyopathy, few words but severe effects. He felt his heart grow. Deficient, defining failing. And none could declare with certainty how long it had been this way. This was a terrible turn for a man who had worn his heart on his sleeve for the world to see. On TV, in breakdowns, in apologies, in vulnerable silences. It was not only broken figuratively now, it was physically challenged. The physicians were up front. Right now, it wouldn't call for surgery. Still, it would call for commitment, a disciplined schedule, pharmaceuticals, way of life changes. Above everything, nevertheless, time. Time to become well. Time to construct. Mike laid on that bed, counting the monitor's repetitive blips while staring at the speckled ceiling and wondering how he had here. It involved more than simply health. It revolved on identity. He was who he was now. He was more than simply the man on the film stuck between hope and heartache and reason. He was not only the farmer seeking a mate to share his life with. This man carried a damaged heart, and that fundamentally impacted everything. His mother Trish was right at his side, extremely fiercely protective, truly honest. Her presence anchored him, linked him to the world outside that sterile chamber. She carried him home-cooked soup he was unable to consume. She brought photo albums and reminded him of his former self before Natalie, before TLC, before the heartache. Friends answered calls. Former friends wrote letters. A few of the supporters even sent prayers, cards, and flowers. And he sensed it even though Mike lacked the will to reply. All of it. The invisible love network peering across the barriers. 1 week went by. He started to go once more. Slower walks down hospital hallways. Walking beside him like silent guardians were physical therapists. He judged his development in stages rather than leaps. 1 more lap than I did yesterday. 1 less tablet to chew on. 1 breath less forced. He started once more in writing. Note-keeping, a diary. Thinking back. Letters he never produced. Views he never expressed on film. His identity started to change gradually as well. Not only the man suffering with heart disease. Not the ex-fiancé alone. Still something fresh, though. Uncooked something. Something robust. Sequim greeted him softly with soft rain and the scent of moist cedar the day he was released. The farm stood waiting for him, unaltered but vibrant. The air cleared more clearly. The earth firmer and Mike underwent a permanent transformation as well. Recovering his health was no more a matter of debate. It was a task. Medications kicked off mornings. Then goes. First slow at first. Labor-intensive, but regular. He turned from coffee to herbal tea. Red meat for fish. Stress for calm. And something happened in the stillness of those long, motionless hikes across foggy fields. A peaceful pardon. For personally. Past. As for Natalie. For all that had fallen apart. The body breaks sometimes so the spirit can rebuild. And Mike started piecemeal daily, starting to reconstruct. He turned down calls for interviews. Tactically, he wanted no performance of his suffering. He wanted no one to tell his healing story. He wanted to live it, really. But the town was aware of. The folks understood. Sequim had seen its lad injured. They could now see him recovering. He was brought soup by neighbors. One of the local yoga teachers provided free courses. An old acquaintance from high school presented him a fishing pole. And then there came the garden. It started modest. Just a sloshy area behind the home. He started herbs. Next are tomatoes. Lavender next. He dug with diligence. He gave his watering deliberate attention. The garden started to represent him. His metric. His reflective mirror. And Mike bent in that garden and cried one morning as the sun softly crept through the trees. Not from gloom. From thanks-based. From gratitude. Though damaged, his heart kept pounding. And that would have been sufficient. Time extended. Seasonal variations occurred. The physicians pleased themselves. His heart was beating. Medications were functioning. Function enhancement. It did not constitute a cure. Still, it was a second opportunity. He started lending his time to the nearby food bank. Assisting, lifting, listening. Not for public consumption. Not for atonement. For connection, though. For goal. One day a woman touched him on the shoulder as he was packing cans. An outsider. Late 50s gentle smile. She said, "I watched TV and saw you. I heard and prayed for you. And now take a look at you." Mike shook his head and grinned. "Still standing," he replied. Because right now that was what counted. Not in the drama. Not past. Not the story the planet used to know of him. But the truth he was living now. Still upright. Still struggling. Still healing. Because occasionally the true love tale is not between two people. Between a guy and his own survival is what I mean. And Mike Youngquist discovered a means of loving himself back to life despite heartache, illness, silence. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.